Okay, so today's topic was, I think, cartilage, fibrocartilage and elastic cartilage. Instead of cartilage, you have seen that I'll be starting with connective tissue. Can you tell me the reason why connective tissue is important? I think day before yesterday, hyaline cartilage was taught in the class, right? Now, I think that before teaching cartilage, you must know about the connective tissue. Okay. Now, first you must know what is connective tissue, what are the components of the connective tissue. Okay. Followed by the classification of connective tissue. Now, if you see the classification of the connective tissue, in that it is clearly mentioned two different types of connective tissues are there. One is generalized connective tissue, another one is specialized connective tissue. Okay? Now, in specialized connective tissue, what are there? Cartilage is there, blood is there, and bone. These are specialized connective tissue. Okay? So, in specialized connective tissue, these three things are there which you have to study. So, cartilage and bone will be discussed in detail in the class. I think sir have started with the bone. Okay, he have taken two classes. Most of the portions of the bones are over, but microscopic structure is left. That will be discussed in histology class. I am talking about bone. Okay. Now, today we will be discussing about cartilage. But before going to the cartilage, as I said, cartilage is nothing but a specialized connective tissue. Okay, so though it is a specialized connective tissue, you must know what is connective tissue. Basic knowledge about the connective tissue is important, or else you will not understand about the cartilage. Okay, I'll give you an example. Now, when you have studied about the hyaline cartilage, so how many types of cartilages are there? Three types of cartilages: hyaline cartilage, fibrocartilage, and elastic cartilage. Three types of cartilages are there. Now, when you have studied the hyaline cartilage, you have observed that in hyaline cartilage you are getting cells. Okay, you are getting some fibers, and you are also getting ground substance. Okay, these three things was there when you studied day before yesterday about the hyaline cartilage, if you remember. Okay, without this, you will not understand the structure of hyaline cartilage. Similarly, for elastic cartilage, fibrocartilage, these three things are important. Okay, so what are the different types of cells? What are the different types of fibers? And what is the ground substance? Also, it is called as ECM. Anyone? Full form? Extracellular matrix. In some book it is written ECM, in some book it is written ground substance. Don't get confused, same thing. Okay? So, what exactly is present in the ground substance? What are the different types of fibers and cells? That is important. Okay, after that only you will understand the structure of cartilage. Okay, now where you will be getting this? Directly, you will not get in any book written details about all those things. Please be on time from next class. So, where you will be getting all those things? You will be getting all those things in connective tissue. Okay? All those things you will be getting in connective tissue. So, if you see the connective tissue, it is having three components. Now, these are the three components of connective tissue. Okay? These are the three components of connective tissue. If you take any connective tissue, these three things are there. Okay? I will come into the classification. Now, in generalized connective tissue, okay, modifications are not present in ground substance. But when you will be taking the specialized connective tissue, in specialized connective tissue, as I said, what are the things present? Blood is there, bone is there, and cartilage. These are the three specialized connective tissue. So when you will study the structure of those three specialized connective tissue, at that time you will observe that ये जो ground substance है, some modifications are present in the ground substance. Now I am not going into the modification, okay, but modifications are present in the ground substance. That's why we are calling them as specialized. Something special is there. Okay, so I hope you have understood why I have started with the connective tissue. Good. So I hope you have heard about connective tissue. Some basic details about the connective tissue you have studied in 12th standard. Okay, so connective tissue hota kya? What is the connective tissue? So it is the tissue that connects, separates, and supports all other types of tissues in the body. It will connect, or it will bind, or it will separate all other tissues which are present in the body. Along with that, it also fills the interstices between more specialized elements, okay, which will hold them and support them together. That is called as connective tissue. Okay. Now suppose दो different type का tissue है, उसको hold करके रख रहा है, और suppose दो different type का tissue है, उसको separate करके रख रहा है. Okay. Now some interstices are there, some spaces are there, उसको fill कर रहा है. That is the connective tissue. Okay. Now, like all the tissues, it consists of a compartment of fluid. Okay, that is called as extracellular matrix. Now, this is a specialization of the connective tissue where you are getting extracellular matrix. It is a compartment of fluid. Okay. Now, there is a difference between the connective tissue and epithelial tissue. Is that in case of epithelial tissue, you have seen the cells are closely placed. Yesterday, I think one group we have discussed about the epithelial tissue. I forget the group. So in that you have seen the cells how they are arranged, very closely placed. Okay, resting on a basement membrane. But here the cells are not closely placed. Okay, but they are distributed. Now where they are distributed? In the extracellular matrix. Okay, that is also a specialty. मतलब यहाँ पे एक सेल है, यहाँ पे एक सेल है, यहाँ पे एक सेल है, like this different cells are there and they are distributed. Now where they are distributed? In the extracellular matrix, and that extracellular matrix is helping to keep the cells and the fibers together. This is how the connective tissue is working. Okay. Next, if you see the structure of the connective tissue, as I said, it fills the gap, it fills the interstices between the specialized element. Okay, predominantly the intercellular matrix, okay, which is there. Now that intercellular matrix jo hota hai, I have mentioned about intercellular matrix. Now that particular matrix is secreted by the cells which are present in the intercellular matrix. Okay. Next, it is present almost every part of the body, but sometime in some areas the amount of connective tissue is more, sometimes it is less. Okay. Next, if you see the connective tissue, it is mesodermal in origin, and along with that it is having a very important function. Now what is that important function? As you can see, it is having trophic and morphogenetic role. Trophic and morphogenetic role means it helps in the growth, and as well as it also helps in giving the shape of a particular tissue. That is called as trophic and morphogenetic role. Along with that, you can see it mediate exchange of nutrients, metabolites, and waste product. Okay, that is also some important functions of the connective tissue. Okay. Next, if you see the structure in connective tissue, three components are there. That means in order to understand the connective tissue, you have to know that it is made up of three components. Now what are those three components? Cells, fibers, and ground substance. Okay. Now there is a shortcut to remember the components. How to remember the components? In connective tissue, which is the first alphabet? C. C का नंबर कितना है? C का नंबर कितना है? 3. So components are also 3. Okay. So like this, some shortcuts are there which you apply, then you will never forget. ठीक है? So 3 components are there: cells, fibers, and ground substance. So first we will see about the cells. Okay. Now here you can see, what is this? This is a diagram, schematic diagram showing the connective tissue, generalized connective tissue. क्या दिखाई दे रहा है इसमें? What you can see? You can see the ground substance. You can see different types of cells, and along with that, you can see different types of fibers also. Okay. So this is a generalized connective tissue. Okay, where different types of cells are there. Now, in the beginning, I have mentioned in connective tissue, क्या होता है जो cells है, those are not closely placed but widely distributed in the extracellular matrix. Can you see the cells? Can you see the gap between the cell? Okay, it is not like epithelial tissue. Next, along with the cells, you can see fibers also. Different types of fibers can be seen in the diagram. Okay, ये देखो, these are the fibers. These are the fibers. Okay, so we'll be discussing about fibers also. Okay. Next, how many types of cells are there in the connective tissue? Any idea? Two different types of cells are there. Okay, one is called fixed cell or permanent cell, and another type of cells are called as wandering cells. दो different type का cells रहता है. एक है fixed cell, means they are the permanent residents of connective tissue. Wandering cell means you can say just like refugees. They came from somewhere else and then now they are becoming the part of connective tissue. Okay, those are the wandering cells. So you can see the list. Okay, तो यहाँ पे देखो fixed cells है fibroblasts and fibrocytes. Fibroblasts and fibrocytes are not same. It is different. Okay, fibroblasts and fibrocytes are not same. It is different. Next, macrophages are there, also called as histocytes. Mast cells, adipocytes are also called as fat cells. Okay. Next, pigment cells are also called as chromatophores and reticular cells. These are the fixed cells, means they are present in the connective tissue only. Now, some wandering cells are there. Now, these wandering cells, from where they are coming? They are coming from the bloodstream. As you can see, these are nothing but the different types of WBCs. In physiology, have you studied about WBCs? Yes? Then I hope you know about all those things. If not, you will be studying, don't worry. Okay? So these are the free cells, or also called as wandering cells. From bloodstream, they are migrated, okay, in the connective tissue. So these are the two different types of cells present in the connective tissue. Okay, and these cells are having important function in the connective tissue itself. Now here is the diagram. So in this diagram you can see the different types of cells. Okay, first the most common, or you can say the most abundant cells which are present in the connective tissue are fibroblasts. They are the most common type of cell. Okay, and these fibroblasts, they have a very important function because the production of the extracellular matrix, production of the fibers, these are done by the fibroblasts. Okay, so that's why they are the most abundant type of cells. Now I'm not going in detail about the cell, okay, because all those things will be discussed in histology class. Now, whenever you do the staining, what will be the appearance? Those will be discussed in histology. Okay, don't worry. So, as I say, fibroblast, it is one of the most abundant cells of connective tissue. Okay, उसका main function क्या है? What is the main function of the fibroblast? As I say, it is responsible for production of extracellular matrix and fibers. Okay, in the connective tissue. This fibroblast. Now, if you see the fibroblast, it is long, spindle-shaped or stellate-shaped. Long, spindle-shaped or stellate-shaped. You can see. This is the fibroblast. Okay, it is long, spindle-shaped or stellate-shaped. Stellate-shaped means when you will see it under microscope, star-shaped appearance आएगा. That's why it is called as stellate-shaped. Okay, so these are some important identifying feature. How to identify the cells, because numerous cells are there. Different types of cells are there, as you can see over here. Okay, so each and every type of cells, they are having a unique property by which we can identify them under microscope. Okay, so one of the important property of this fibroblasts are stellate shape. Okay, now these fibroblast cells, when they are associated with the reticular fibers, they are also called as reticular cells. Next, fibrocytes are also there. You can see fibrocytes. These are immature and inactive cells. Okay, fibroblasts are mature, larger. Fibrocytes are inactive. Okay, smaller as compared to the fibroblast cells. Okay, and their functions are also different. Next, macrophages are also there. You can see macrophage. Now macrophages are also called as histocytes. So macrophages का function क्या होगा? Phagocytic action. Okay, phagocytic action. You have studied what is phagocytosis. So this phagocytic action is present in this macrophages. Next, mast cells are there, or also called as histaminocytes. Okay, as you can see, mast cells are there. Okay, now inside the mast cell, numerous granules are present. If you focus on the mast cell, can you see these granules? So granular appearance will be there of the mast cell. Okay, and these mast cells are the precursor of histamine. I hope you have heard about this. Mast cells are the precursor of histamine. Next, fat cells are there. Okay, see, these are the fat cells, are also called as adipocytes. Now, how to identify the fat cell? Now, in case of fat cell, a terminology is used that is called as signet ring appearance. Signet ring, the ring which you wear, okay, in your finger, or it is also called as digit. Okay, just see the shape of the ring. Now the appearance is almost similar. जो फैट सेल होता है उसका जो appearance है under microscope, this is called as signet, SIGNET, signet ring appearance. Okay, you have to use those terminologies whenever you are writing the answer to get good marks. ठीक है? Now why signet ring appearance is there? Now if you see the cell, if you see the, can you see it is empty? Just focus on the adipocyte. अंदर में क्या दिखाई दे रहा है? कुछ दिखाई नहीं दे रहा है. It is empty. Why? Because fat droplet is present, and because of the presence of the fat droplet, it is pushing the cell organelles towards the periphery. That's why you can see the nucleus at the periphery. ये देखो nucleus कहाँ पे है? It is not at the center. It is at the periphery. Why? Because of the presence of fat droplet. Now, whenever we are preparing the tissue, at that time, different stages are there. Among them, one important step is xylene wash. So, whenever the xylene wash is done, at that time, fat droplet is washed away. So, if it is washed away, nothing is there inside the cell. So, it will not get stained. That's why it appears empty. Okay, that's why it appears empty. So, this is the appearance of fat cells, or also called as adipocytes. Adipocytes. Okay. Next, pigment cells are there. Okay. Pigment cells are also present. So in case of pigment cells, what happens actually? They consist of melanin pigment. Now those pigment cells are more present in skin than in case of iris of the eye. These are the areas where pigment cells are more. Okay. Next, these cells, if you see basophil, eosinophil, then lymphocytes, these are the parts of WBCs. Okay, so all the functions of the WBCs are done by these particular cells. Now, so that is all about the cells. Three components are there in the connective tissue. Three components are there. What are those three components? First, cells. इसके बाद क्या आता है? Fibers. Okay, fibers. So how many types of fibers are there? Again, three types of fibers are there. Now, what are the three types of fibers? Collagen fibers, elastic fibers, and reticular fibers. These are the three different types of fibers present in connective tissue. Okay. Now, do you think fibers can be seen directly under compound microscope? Cells somehow you can see, but not clearly. Exact shape of the cell cannot be seen under compound microscope. What about the fibers? Do you think it can be seen under compound microscope? No. For that, what you have to do? Yes, we have to use electron microscope. Okay. So I'll show you one electron microscope image of collagen fibers. ये देखो, this is the electron microscope image of collagen fibers. Okay. So when the images of the electron microscope for collagen fibers are produced, it appears like this. So anyone, have you heard about collagen fibers? What is collagen fibers? What are the properties of the collagen fibers? How is the appearance? What is the function? It is made up of what? Now here I will be using some terminologies related to biochemistry. Okay, so I know those things are not yet started. Once it will start, you will understand. Okay. Now, first of all, if you see collagen fibers, always they are placed in bundle. मतलब एक single fiber नहीं रहता है. So many fibers together they will form one bundle. Okay, and those fibers are placed in a bundle. First point. Second point, suppose one bundle is there, another bundle is there. Okay, now those bundles may be straight or it may be wavy. जो बंडल होता है either it may be straight or it may be wavy. Wavy क्यों होता है? Depends on how much force is applied on them. Okay, अगर force ज़्यादा apply हुआ तो ज़्यादा wavy होगा. If force is not applied, then it will be straight. Now the bundles, suppose one bundle is like this, another bundle may be like this, or bundles may be parallel to each other. But the individual fibers which are present in the bundle, they will never anastomose or they will never cross each other. They will be always parallel to each other. Have you got my point? First point is the fibers are always in bundle. Single fiber nahi rehta hai. Next, the bundles depending on the forces applied, it may be straight or it may be wavy. Okay. Next, जो bundles होता है, suppose one bundle another bundle, it may cross or it may be parallel. But the individual fibers in a bundle is always parallel to each other. Okay, these are the physical properties of collagen fibers. Please keep that in mind. Okay, because exam में question आता है, write a short note on collagen fibers. Now, if you see the electron microscope structure, the bundles in the bundle you will be getting one. The bundles are made up of individual fibers. Now, if you see individual fiber, it is made up of fibril. Individual bundles are made up of fibril. Now, those fibrils are having diameter of 20 to 200 nanometer. Just imagine 20 to 200 nanometer. That means it will be very small. Now, each fibril is again made up of microfibril. Now that microfibril is having diameter of approximately 3.5 nanometer. Okay, so first we are getting fiber which is made up of fibril, which is made up of microfibrils. Okay, and so many fibers will form the bundle. This is the orientation of collagen fiber. So first, whenever you see any collagen fiber, उसमें क्या दिखाई देगा? Bundle. Bundle के अंदर क्या है? Individual fiber. Individual fiber is made up of fibril. Now, if you see the fibrils, they are made up of microfibril. Okay. So in case of fibril, the diameter, fibrils का diameter कितना है? 20 to 200 micrometer. Microfibril का diameter कितना है? Only approximately 3 to 4 nanometer. Okay. Next, microfibrils are made up of chains of tropocollagen molecules. Okay. Microfibrils, if you see, these microfibrils are made up of microfibrils are made up of tropocollagen molecules. This is a type of protein. Okay. Now these tropocollagen molecules, they are overlapping each other in a definite way. Suppose एक tropocollagen molecule है. This will study in biochemistry. I am not going in detail. Suppose one tropocollagen molecule, another tropocollagen molecule ऐसे overlapping रहता है. इसके बाद और एक tropocollagen molecule ठीक ऐसे रहता है. So because of that, the appearance is striated. Because of that, जो appearance होगा, ultimate appearance of a fiber, it is striated. So you can see some striation over here also. Okay, so this is the collagen fiber. Now, can you believe? can you tell me how many types of collagen fibers are there? So this is the overall structure of collagen fiber. Okay. Now, can you tell me how many types of collagen fibers are there? Approximately 29 types of collagen fibers are there. 29. Okay. Now there are so many collagen fibers in which researches are still going on. Okay, they don't even know the exact property or they don't even know the exact structure. Researches are still going on. 29 different types of collagen fibers are there. Among them, only 4 types are given in your histology book. Only 4 types are given. Okay, that means type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4. So, in several parts, I will be mentioning that type 1 collagen is there, type 2 collagen is there, type 3 like this, it will be mentioned. तो इसका मतलब क्या है? Total 29 types है. Among them, up to 4 or 5 उसमें proper research हुआ है, proper structure is known, and what is the function where they are present in our body, that is known. That's why up to 4 or 5 is given. Beyond that, it's not present in the book. I have seen. Okay. So that is about the collagen fibers. Now, can anyone tell me where the collagen fibers are present in our body? Any guess? Now, when you will study the structure of synovial joint, at that time you have to study about the ligaments. You have not studied the synovial joint in detail. Okay, when you will study the synovial joint in detail, at that time you will come to know ligaments are there. Okay. I am not telling only ligament. Ligament is a part. It is there. Okay. So if you see the ligaments, this is the TS of ligament. This is the LS of ligament. I hope you know what is TS and LS. Okay. So in there you can see these are the bundles of collagen fibers. These are the bundles. These are the bundles of collagen fibers. Now here also you can see these are the bundles of collagen fibers. And some cells which you see over there, these are the fibroblast cells. Okay. So this is a example where the collagen fibers are situated. Okay, after collagen fiber, next are the elastic fibers. Okay, next are the elastic fibers. Now, in case of elastic fibers, please keep that in mind. The number of elastic fibers are very less as compared to the collagen fiber. Collagen fiber are the most abundant fibers of our body. सबसे ज़्यादा fibers अगर है, तो that is the collagen fibers. Next are the elastic fibers. The number of elastic fibers are less as compared to the collagen fibers. Okay. Next, if you see the elastic fibers are thinner than those of the collagen fibers, it means the diameter is very less. Next, the elastic fibers, they will never present in bundle. Previously, we have seen collagen fibers, how they are oriented in a bundle. Elastic fiber not present in bundle. They are present singly. Single रहता elastic fibers. First point. Next point is the elastic fibers, they heavily branch and anastomose with each other. मतलब जो suppose एक fiber है दूसरा fiber, they will never go parallel to each other. Okay, एक fiber ऐसा है तो एक fiber ऐसा जाएगा, या तो एक fiber ऐसा जाएगा. Okay, means always they will branch and anastomose with each other. It is the properties of elastic fiber, and that is very important. When we see under microscope, that is visible. The branching pattern of the elastic fibers. Okay. Next, in some situation, elastic fibers are thick. For example, ligamentum flava. So, in vertebral column, we will be studying about the ligamentum flava. Next, elastic fibers are also present in the elastic arteries. In our body, if you see the larger arteries, दो type का रहता है, elastic artery and muscular artery. Okay. So we will be studying about the elastic artery. So in that elastic artery also, these elastic fibers are present. So these are some areas where you can see the elastic fibers. Okay. Now, what will be the microscopic structure of elastic fiber? Okay, let me show you the diagram of microscopic structure. So here you can see the diagram of the microscopic structure. Now here microscopic structure means EM structure, electron microscope structure. Okay, because under normal compound microscope you can't see the proper shape of the elastic fiber. So for that we need electron microscope. So under electron microscope, if you see the fiber, elastic fiber, first of all it is having a central amorphous core. Okay, here you can see this is central amorphous core. Now this core is made up of a protein and that is called as elastin. तो सेंट्रल कोर जो रहता है that is made up of a protein that is called as elastin. Next, the outer layer, जो outer layer होता है, these are made up of fibrils, and those fibrils are made up of glycoprotein, and that is called as fibrillin 1. So this is the central core which is made up of elastin protein, and the outer part you can see these are the cut sections of the fibrils. जो रेड कलर में दिखाई दे रहा है, these are nothing but the cut section of the fibrils. Okay, now these fibrils are made up of a glycoprotein that is called as fibrillin 1. Okay, another diagram is there. Let me show you another diagram. Yeah, here you can see the fibrillin 1, the fibrils. Okay, and here you can see the central amorphous core. Central amorphous core का मतलब है जो कोर का पर्टिकुलर शेप नहीं है. The central core, it is not having definite shape. That's why it is called as central amorphous core. Okay. Now, जो central amorphous core है, it is made up of elastin. Elastin is a protein. Now you know that proteins are made up of amino acids, right? So two amino acids are there. That is desmosine and isodesmosine. These are the two amino acids which are present in the central core. Okay. Okay. So how the elastic fibers are synthesized in our body? As you can see, it is done by the fibroblasts, smooth muscle cells. Okay. Endothelium in the vessels and chondrocytes in the cartilage. This is how the elastic fibers are synthesized in our body. Okay. Next, which fiber is left? Three types of fibers are there: collagen fibers, elastic fiber, and reticular fibers. Okay. Next, you can see this is the reticular fiber. Okay. Now, if anyone asks you what is reticular fiber, this is nothing but type 3 collagen fibers. जो reticular fiber है, this is nothing but type 3 collagen fibers. Okay. These are much thinner, and if you see the thickness, it is uneven. Now, they also present in the form of network. जो reticular fibers है, ऐसे network form करके रहता है. They are in the form of network always. Okay, that is the specialization, or you can say identifying feature of reticular fibers. They will branch and anastomose in such a way that they are forming a network-like structure. Okay, reticular fibers. Now, if you see the reticular fibers, they are mostly forming the framework of different organs. For example, if you see the lymphatic organs, most of the lymphatic organs, the framework is made up of reticular fibers. Okay. Then in certain glands also they are present. They are present in kidneys. They are present in liver. Okay. So these are some organs where the framework is made up of reticular fibers. Now, one important point regarding reticular fibers are when you want to stain them directly, you can't stain with the help of H&E. For that, special stain is required, and these are stains made up of silver salt. Okay, that's why they are called as argentophil fibers. They are taking the silver salt. That's why it is called as argentophil fibers. And see the appearance. Okay. Now this is the gist of the story. Whatever we have discussed so far about the three different types of fibers, okay, everything is given in this chart. Okay, to see first of all the location, name of the fibers, okay, then the codes means how they are oriented. Next, you can see the striation, whether it is present or absent. In both the cases it is present, because why it is present in reticular fiber? Because it is nothing but the type 3 collagen fibers. That's why striations are present, and here I have mentioned why the striations are present. Okay. Next, you can see the physical properties. So in case of collagen fiber, you can see high tensile strength is there. Now here have elastic property and less tensile strength. Now here it is having less elasticity but high tensile strength. Okay, these are the physical properties of three different types of fibers. Next, you can see the special staining method. Okay, different types of stains can be used in order to see the fibers. Okay, H&E stain will not help this time. Next, you can see different names which are given: white fibers, yellow fiber, argentophil fibers or argentophilic fibers. Okay. Now the last part which is left, we have studied about the cells, we have studied about the fibers, which is the last part, ground substance. Okay. So last is the ground substance of the connective tissue. So interfibrillar and intercellular spaces of the connective tissue are occupied by a transparent homogeneous, okay, extracellular matrix, or also called as ground substance. Now this ground substance allows the diffusion of metabolites and provides barrier for the spread of microorganism. Now this is very important. तो जो ground substance होता है, it allows the exchange of metabolites. Now that I have told you, when epithelial tissue is avascular, okay, then how it is getting nutrition? By diffusion, and that is done by the connective tissue itself. So that is allowed, but the crossing of or the passage of microorganisms are prevented by the connective tissue. Okay. Next, if you see the main function, first of all, it will be act like gel, okay, which will fill the spaces between the cells fibers. Why? To provide support. So in connective tissue, we have seen cells are also there, different types of cells and different types of fibers are also there. तो सबको एक साथ hold करके रखता है, and along with that, it also provides support to them. Okay. Now this ground substance, it helps in resisting compression force. Okay, when compression force is applied, because of the gel-like consistency, it resists the compression forces. Okay, also play a major role in cell migration, proliferation, and tissue development. So these are some important features and function of the ground substance. Next, if you see the structure of the ground substance, now what will be the composition? Structure means you must know what is present inside the ground substance. So three things are present. I hope you have seen that in connective tissue, most of the things are related to three only. Fibers also three. In components are also three. In ground substance, again three components are there. Okay, most of the things are three in case of connective tissue. So glycosaminoglycans are there, proteoglycans and glycoproteins. Okay, these are the major constituents of ground substance. Okay. Now in glycosaminoglycans, we are getting dermatan sulfate and keratin sulfate. Okay, dermatan sulfate and keratin sulfate, and along with that, hyaluron is also present in the glycosaminoglycan, and they are responsible for the physical property of the ground substance. Now these things are important. यहाँ से short question आता है. What are the constituents of ground substance? Okay, short questions. Next, you can see proteoglycans, aggrecan and syndican. Now, proteoglycan means in most of the cases you have seen the core protein. So I'm talking about that. Okay. So the core protein provides attachment to the numerous glycosaminoglycans. Okay, in a form of bottle brush structure. Now this is something which you will study in biochemistry. मतलब जो proteoglycan है, okay, which attaches the glycosaminoglycan. If you see the structure, it is in the form of bottle brush nature. What is the meaning of bottle brush? I hope you have seen the brush which is used to clean inside the bottle. वैसा appearance आता है. Okay, so that is completely biochemistry and you will study. Don't worry. Lastly, the glycoproteins, fibronectin, laminin. Now this will stabilize the extracellular matrix and helps in binding the cells with the extracellular matrix. So this is the function of the glycoprotein. So these are the three major constituents of, or you can say components of the ground substance. Along with that, the function. Now how it is produced? जो ground substance है, it must be produced. How it is produced? Who is responsible? See, it is secreted by the fibroblast itself. So in the beginning I had told you, fibroblasts are the most abundant and most important cells. So everywhere we are getting the fibroblasts. Okay. So that is all about the structure of connective tissue. Okay. Next, here you can see the functions of the connective tissue. Okay. So different functions are there: enclosing and separating the organs, supporting and moving, especially in case of joint. When you will study the joint, at that time you will come to know so many parts are there in the joints which are made up of connective tissue. Okay, so joints helps us in movement. Next, storing, so adipose tissue which is stored in our body, so that is also a function of connective tissue. Then cushioning, insulating effect, that is also provided by the adipose tissue. Then transport and protection, that is done by the blood. Again protection, that is the cranium which is protecting our brain. Okay, so these are some important functions of the connective tissue. Okay. Next, here is the classification. So classification in the beginning already I mentioned, two different types of connective tissues are there: the generalized connective tissue and specialized connective tissue. So now I am not going to generalized connective tissue, just concentrate over here. Now in the specialized connective tissue, you can see bone, cartilage and blood. Okay, so that day you have studied about the cartilage. Okay, so now we'll go to the cartilage, the remaining part of the cartilage, and discuss the cartilage part. Okay, now you'll understand why I have explained so many things. Now you will realize. Okay, so what exactly is the cartilage, anyone? So see, cartilage, as I said, it is a specialized connective tissue. Okay. Now, along with that, it provides rigidity and elasticity. It provides rigidity also. Along with that, it provides elasticity also. That is one of the important property of the cartilage. Now, because of that, it is present in such areas of our body where this rigidity and elasticity are required. Okay. Now in the cartilage, we are getting chondrocytes which are embedded in gel-like matrix. See, chondrocytes means these are the cells of the cartilage. Cartilage में जो cells रहता है, okay, these are called as chondrocytes. Two different types of cells are present. One is chondrocytes, another one is chondroblast. Chondroblasts are immature cells. Chondrocytes are the mature cells, larger cells. Okay, and next see here. Already it is mentioned that gel like matrix, that means जो matrix होता है cartilage का उसमें एक speciality है, it is gel like. Why it is gel like? Because it is having the affinity to absorb or to hold water molecule. जो cartilage, this is the speciality. Now this thing is not present in case of bone. When you will study the bone, you will come to know that जो bone का extracellular matrix है और ground substance है, it is highly mineralized. Calcium salts are deposited. That's why bone is hard. But जो cartilage, it is not hard like bone. Okay, it is rigid and elastic. Why? Because of gel-like consistency of the extracellular matrix. Gel-like consistency कैसे होता है? Because it can hold water molecules. Okay, so that is the modification present in case of cartilage. Okay. Now, do you know one thing? Phylogenetically, cartilage is older than the bones. Now, if anyone asks you, suppose in a debate that which one is older, bones are older or cartilage is older in our body, what will be your answer? मतलब bone पहले आया या cartilage पहले आया? एक क्वेश्चन है ना कि मुर्गा पहले आया या अंडा पहले आया? The similar way, the question is bone पहले आया या cartilage पहले आया? What do you think? Cartilage. Okay, because most of the bones they develop from cartilage. Okay, and those things will be discussed in bone chapter, in the development of the bones. Okay, so phylogenetically cartilages are older than bones. Okay. Now there are some temporary cartilages and there are some permanent cartilages. The temporary cartilage means those convert themselves, or you can say gradually as the age advances, it converts themselves into bone or it replaced by bone. Those are called as temporary cartilage. But there are some cartilage which are permanent in nature. For example, thyroid cartilage, permanent. Okay. Next, the costal cartilages, most of them are permanent. Okay, so like this, some temporary cartilages are there and some permanent cartilages are there. Okay. Next, if you see the function of the cartilage, provides rigidity and support to the soft tissue, smooth gliding surface for articulation. Now, this is articulation of joints. Whenever you are doing any movement, now suppose I can do any movement like this freely without any problem. I'm talking about normal joint, not abnormal joint. Okay, you also can do free movement. Why? Because of the cartilage, a piece of cartilage is present in between the two bones. Or else what will happen? The bone will do friction. There will be friction between the bones and you will feel pain at that time. Okay, so that free movements, why it is possible? Because of the cartilage. Okay. Next, enables the development and growth of long bones. So these are some important functions of the cartilage. Next, here you can see these are the general features of the cartilage. Okay, so first of all, it provides support. Okay, along with that, it provides flexibility also. Very important. Next, the cartilage is avascular in nature. That means it doesn't have any blood supply. Next, no nervous structure. That means it is not supplied by nerve. That means blood vessels are not there. It is not supplied by nerve. Now, as a result, what happens? The cartilage is very weak in healing. Suppose cartilage का मान लो damage होता है, तो उसका healing बहुत slow होगा. If a structure is avascular, direct blood supply नहीं है, then the healing is very slow. बहुत slow होता है healing. Okay, which can be seen in case of cartilage. Okay. Now another important point, consists all three components of the connective tissue. Okay. Next, another important part, I don't know whether you have studied or not, usually surrounded by perichondrium. The outer covering of the cartilage is called as perichondrium. उसमें दो layers रहता है, inner layer and outer layer. Outer layer is fibrous, inner layer is cellular in nature. और जो outer layer है उसमें fibrous tissue रहता है, and along with that blood vessels are also present. Okay. And now there is an exception, the articular cartilage and fibrocartilage, they don't have perichondrium. Okay. Next, components of the cartilage. So cartilage is a specialized connective tissue. So connective tissue का components कितना है? How many components are there? 3 components are there. Okay. So here you can see all 3 components. You can see cells, you can see ground substance, and you can see fibers also. Okay. Now where is the modification? Modification is the ground substance. Okay. Now here you can see only 2 types of cells are there in cartilage: Chondroblasts and Chondrocytes. Already I mentioned. Next, in fibers, only 2 types of fibers are there: collagen fibers and elastic fibers. These are the 2 different types of fibers present in the cartilage. Okay. Now, what is the modification in case of this one, ground substance? Okay. The modification is, as you can see, so first of all, it is made up of complex molecule of protein and carbohydrate. Okay. Now, these molecules form meshwork of which is filled by water. The carbohydrates are glycosaminoglycans. Okay, for example, chondroitin sulfate, keratin sulfate, and along with that, hyaluronic acid is present. And the core protein is agrican. Now, because of the presence of this hyaluronic acid, it is having the capability to hold water molecules. And though the water molecules are present inside the ground substance, that's why the consistency is gel-like, which provides the pliability, or you can say elastic nature to the cartilage. Okay. Next, 2 different types of cells are there. Okay, cartilage cells, the mature cells are called as chondrocytes, and immature cells are called as chondroblasts. Okay, so chondroblasts से gradually chondrocytes form होता है. Perichondrium, already I told you what is perichondrium, the outer covering of the cartilage. 2 different layers are present. Okay, outer fibrous layer, which is vascular in nature, that means blood vessels are present, and inner chondrogenic layer, cellular layer. Okay, now in that particular layer only you will be getting the chondroblast cells. Okay. Next is the hyaline cartilage you have studied. So I'll be going directly into the elastic cartilage. In case of elastic cartilage, so same 3 things will be there. That means in exam, if the question comes about the elastic cartilage, you have to mention all 3 components. Okay. For example, you have to mention about the cells, you have to mention about the ground substance, and then you have to mention about the fibers. Okay. Next, what you have to mention, what are the properties and where it is present. So these some points should be there whenever you are writing about any of the cartilage. Okay. Now, elastic cartilage, we know that it gives resilience, pliability, and elasticity on the organ. Okay. Now, if you see the freshly dissected cartilage, elastic cartilage, it is yellow. Okay, because of the elastic fibers. It is yellow in nature. Okay. Now, where at the location, if you see the location, it is present in the pinna of the external ear here. Okay. तो जब भी elastic cartilage आया, please hold your ear so that you can remember. क्योंकि once you study so many things, इतना कुछ याद नहीं रहता है. तो as I said, there are some shortcuts. जब भी hyaline cartilage आया, तो do like this so that you can remember कि hyaline cartilage कहाँ पे रहता है. Examples during the time of exam. ठीक है, याद नहीं रहता इतना कुछ. Elastic cartilage आया तो क्या करना है? कान पकड़ना है. Hold your ear. Okay, like this you can remember things and you can write easily in the exam. Next, there are some other areas also. For example, epiglottis, arytenoid, corniculate cartilage. These are the areas where elastic cartilages are present. Okay. Now, what is the speciality of the elastic cartilage? First of all, it is surrounded by perichondrium. Okay. Next, you can see dense meshwork of branching and anastomosing fibers are present, and these are nothing but the elastic fibers. Okay. Now, elastic fibers, as I said, you cannot stain them with the help of H&E staining. For that, orosine and fusin staining are used. Okay. Next, ground substance are also there. If you see the ground substance, it is almost same like the hyaline cartilage. Okay. Next, chondrocytes are also there. Now, in hyaline cartilage, if you studied about lacuna, yes. So actually this is histological term. I am not going into this because जो chondrocytes रहता है, they are present mainly in the lacuna itself. Okay. Now here the lacuna are larger as compared to the hyaline cartilage, and inside the lacuna 1 or 2 chondrocytes are present, not more than that. Okay. Now, let me show you the diagram. So here you can see this is the elastic fibers. So here the perichondrium can be seen. Okay. Next, you can see these are the elastic fibers, branching and anastomosing elastic fibers, and these are the empty spaces which are called as lacuna. Inside the lacuna, these chondrocytes are present. You can see chondrocytes. Now here the arrangement is not same like the hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage में cell nest रहता है, but here in the lacuna 1 or 2 chondrocytes are there, and the lacuna are larger. Okay, further details will be discussed in histology class. Okay, so that is all about the elastic cartilage. So I hope the purpose of connective tissue you have understood, why I have taken the connective tissue. Based on that only the elastic cartilage was explained. Okay, so only fibrocartilage is left. So I'll request everyone to study the fibrocartilage from your own. Okay, after that if there is any doubt you can ask. फाइब्रोकार्टिलेज में एक डिफरेंस है, पेरिकोंड्रियम इज एब्सेंट. ओके, पेरिकोंड्रियम नहीं रहता है इन केस ऑफ फाइब्रोकार्टिलेज. हियर यू कैन सी नो पेरिकोंड्रियम आर प्रेजेंट. ओके, एंड इफ यू सी द सेल्स chondrocytes, they are present in row like this. Okay, and very little amount of, or you can say very small amount of extracellular matrix is present. Mostly they are covered by collagen fibers. Okay. As you can see, bundles of thick collagen fibers are there. See, these are the bundles of thick collagen fibers, and in between them, the rows of chondrocytes are present. Matrix is present, but the amount is very less. Okay. Now you can see the example: intervertebral disc, pubic symphysis. Okay, articular disc of sternoclavicular joint. So these are some areas where the fibrocartilage is present. Okay. Now, lastly, I want everyone to take a snap of this. Whatever we have discussed, this is the gist. Everything is present over here. For example, you can see the hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, fibrocartilage. What is present in the extracellular matrix? What are the different types of cells present? How the cells are arranged? Perichondrium, whether it is present or not. Location and function. Okay. So during the time of exam, this kind of chart will save your time and will help you to study it in a very small amount of time. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone.